been very patient.
Congressman Larson, how long have you been in the Congress?
This is my 11th year.
And you mentioned Bonnie Franks.
Right. Yeah.
As being honorable people. And I'm not questioning you or Senator Bonnie Franks, but there are some questions that you bring forward, and particularly with AIG and the bailout there. Christopher Dodd was involved in that. Christopher Dodd is regulating the hedge fund industry, and on Tuesday, this week in New York City, he's being entertained by one of the biggest hedge fund operators at all. So we have a senator from Connecticut, going to New York to fill his corpus by the very industry he's regulating. Now, I understand everybody's at fault, but we really never hear that the Congress takes some blame for this, because they are to blame just as much as business, just as much as the regulators, just as much as everyone else, even us. But just one request. We got talks, we got Monday Freddie Mac bailout, and their costs are escalating now, even more than they were in the past. We have this latest bill, which you brought here today for us, and those costs are really going to escalate. So what you've done is put my children and my grandchildren in debt up to their ears. You're not affecting me, although you are, but you're spending too much money. And what you're bringing up, health care, alternative energy, whatever you want. Yes, they should be done, but thought should be going into these bills, not being rushed through. And tell me, sir, did you read the bill? Did you read the one which Senator Dodd slipped in the bonuses, the AIG?
Wait. So that's, well, can you ask the very sensible, same questions that every American citizen asks. You are, and I'm not. And you also said something else that was important. Congress is as much to blame as everybody. You're absolutely correct. Congress is to blame. So now, let's take a look at Congress, and let's take a look at Barney Frank and Chris Dodd. Now, who was the guy who brought up the bill that said that we should go after the bonuses? You get to a point when you're in Congress where it's very easy to do this, to blame the other guy. And so it's very easy for us to point to the Bush administration, and the Bush administration complete control over the process. There wasn't a reform bill that was put on the desk of a president until the Democrats took over. That's the first.
When did they take over?
2006.
Yes.
2006. In the House.
Good. And the Senate?
No, well, what happened in the Senate?
Good.
No, well, and then if you take injury, death, whatever, and you know what a cloture vote is?
Yes.
What's that?
You get closure on a bill with less than 60 votes.
You have to get 60 votes. So, in order to bring a bill forward.
Trying to do
well, exactly. And I would agree with that. So listen, I know again the anger that exists out there for Senator Dodd. And listen, Senator Dodd, if he were here, would say, look, he made mistakes in terms of items of a personal nature that he should have disclosed. But in terms of being responsible, this administration, to be frank with you, Geithner and Summers were responsible. His legislation was to deal with these bonuses. The administration came back and said, as this is written, this creates complications for what we believe is legally already been committed to by a previous administration that we will abide by.
But who put it in?
But they didn't. No.
Who put it in the bill?
They took out what he had put in, therefore allowing what had already transpired to take place.
Either way, they get the bonuses. And then, once they get the bonuses, it's not me.
Well,
So all I'm saying is, and really, I'm not criticizing you, I'm just asking.
no, I
Please,
hear you.
go back to Washington. Don't shove any more thought. Do thought. We do need these programs that you want to do. But figure out how we can pay them. Cut spending. There's not anything at all in the way of thought into reducing programs you don't need.
That's not true.
If you can
There's
do that,
well, I was just,
let's see it. Let's see it.
well, I mean, it's already been 100 days.
But the present budget that you just passed
Right.
does not have anything in it.
So what budget would you have put forward? The one that the Republicans put forward? There's our choice. Which one would you have chosen?
I would combine all of the above, okay? Put something in, take something out, okay? Don't put something in we don't need. By the way, we do have oil and reserves and coal that can be used, yes, until we get these alternative energies. And that would permit us not to buy stuff overseas. So, I mean, think about that. People Pickens, as he pointed out, it's the truth. He's the man who put forward these programs and invested in them because he knows that's the way the government is going to go. And who's going to benefit?
Well, I'm proud to be a sponsor of a bill that T. Boone Pickens even supports that says it's natural gas and it's the transition that's important. And yes, nuclear and coal, clean coal or carbon sequestrated coal. Well, there is no such thing, but guess what? That is a commodity that's going to be burned, so we better figure out how to do it in as clean a way as we possibly can while we're making this transition. And, you know, that's just a reality. You think that China and India, who have economies are ready to burst, are not going to do this if we can't come up with the technology? Of course they will. And we have a very delicate balance here because we're at a tipping point here that's quite scary. But I'll say again, not many people want to face the reality either. And that reality is that things are going to get tough before they get better.
Sir, we need to go back to Washington and get people to work together, not against each other.
The co-sponsor of half of my legislation are Republicans from the other side of the aisle. But it was the president who reached out to the Republicans and said, join me. What did they say?
Please, Nancy Pelosi kept on the caucuses. Let's not go there. Yes, that's the thing.
What? Wait a minute. Now, see, I get that. This is a great one.